we will jump right into some Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction talk. And we've got a lot going on. Last podcast, we alluded to a big focused playtest coming up and a tools release as well. And Brian's going to give us kind of an update on where we're at right now and where we're heading.
Yes, I've been very much immersed in the development of Ratchet and Clank Future and working with the design team and the gameplay programming team to get all of the various pieces in the game for our upcoming focus test session up at Foster City. And that's actually one thing. One of the questions that came up from one of our listeners was, why aren't I present for a lot of the various sessions, like our mystery guests the last couple weeks? And that's because I kind of pop in and out of the different sessions, and so I'm in for this one, but I won't be present for the mystery guest session that we're going to have.
And we also only have 3
yes
microphones, and we need one of them for our mystery guests.
That's
so
right. Our
makes it a little challenging.
Operation here kind of limits us. So last week we talked a little bit about how Tools of Destruction was a very fitting name for the game because we were experiencing some tools of destruction of our own, and that was because all the tools that we use, like our level editors and the way we process assets, weren't quite working. And that was something we'd planned for, but now, fortunately, we can call them, as Ted put it, they're tools of construction, and everything's working smoothly. And our level editor's working great, and we're steadily working towards the focus test. And right now what we're doing is we're trying to get everything into a fun and playable state. And the way the process works is we get all the pieces in, we kind of populate all our levels with the enemies and various assets, and then we have to get them to function and just work. So we need an enemy to run down some steps or fly over to a location. But then after that, we have to actually tune it and make it fun. And so we look at the weapons, how they work with the enemies, how the combat works. It's 3 shots too many to kill this one enemy with this particular weapon. And so a lot of that tuning really adds to the flavor and the fun of the game. And then, of course, the other stuff which adds to the fun is stuff like continue points. When you die, we can warp you back to the last spot that's at the start of a challenge rather than at the very beginning of the level. And I think we'd get a few thrown controllers if we didn't have continue points. So those are the things we're currently working on this week, and things are really coming together. I think we're probably in the best shape we've ever been for a focus test. We have a lot of features in that we typically don't have. Stuff like the help messages, we got our movies in, so it's going to be very helpful for when people play. They can kind of tell what's going on.
Maybe we could talk about movies just for a second here. I know in our leads meeting, and just for people who don't know, I don't know if we talked about this, we have leads for every project and from every department, and we have a meeting once a week where we kind of check in and we talk about issues that affect other departments. One of the things that stuck with me is that we actually have a working cinematic earlier than we ever had before, so that's kind of cool.
That's
news
correct.
For us.
We had originally intended on starting our cinematics in March, and we actually got a head start and began them at the end of January. So that's great to see that kind of progress, and that gives us the ability to tune stuff and polish stuff at the very end of the project.
So one of the things that's kind of cool is now we have some internal folks playing the game this week before the actual test. So we've got is that your first chance to tune the game based on some initial?
Yeah, I think that we like to kind of set earlier deadlines so that we can hit those, and then we have another iteration step to make the following week. So based on the results that we get this Friday and the feedback that we get, then we can put that back into the game. And a lot of the stuff that we change are just simple number changes. We have a lot of graphs and charts that show kind of the flow of the game, how the progression works. And so by just changing a few numbers, that can greatly alter the experience.
Had some other big updates too, right? With our physics system is fully functional with all the updates that have gone into that, right?
Yeah, we've been improving the physics system that we used in Resistance, and working on just making that a lot more efficient, optimizing it so that we can achieve a better frame rate and get more physics objects out in the world. So it's really cool to see this stuff come together, and I've been kind of messing around with the tornado launcher, and it's fun to pick up enemies, watch them twirl around, use the 6-axis to kind of move them around and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.